Awesome. We are recording. So, are you guys ready for 5 days of building a profitable Facebook group? And we are going to literally do this step by step, day by day. So many people build Facebook groups with the wrong intentions. And so during these 5 days, I want to show you guys how to build something that is actually going to be profitable for you, and also that's going to move people through your funnel, right? At the end of the day, that is what we want to do. We want to leverage groups in order to congregate people in a single place in order to nurture them and graduate them into something else, right? I know so many people, they build a Facebook group because they're told that's what they need to do. And so once they build their Facebook group, they get really confused over what type of content they should put in the group versus, well, what type of content should I put on my profile? And what type of content should I put in the group? What type of content should I put in behind a gate in a program? And so today we're going to get crystal clear on what type of content belongs in the group and why. But let's talk a little bit about why most Facebook groups fail, okay? There are so many Facebook groups online. I literally had to go the other day and just like start unfollowing because I see all of this like random stuff I don't even know how I get added sometimes to these groups. Because I really hate the function that Facebook just, if someone invites you, you all of a sudden start seeing all of this list content that you did not like opt into. That's one of the annoying things about Facebook groups. And so I usually tell people, don't invite people to your Facebook group because it's super annoying, unless like they are asking to be inside your Facebook group. And so today we're going to cover whether or not you should have a paid Facebook group. But the first thing that we have to understand is why most Facebook groups fail. A lot of Facebook groups fail because there is no strategy. People are just creating these Facebook groups in order to congregate people only to sell to them. And that is not what we want to do. We want to leverage Facebook groups so that we can nurture an audience and graduate them into something else. Now, today, you're going to be absolutely clear on where a Facebook group is going to fit into your business and whether or not you should be charging for the Facebook group. So that's the one thing that you are going to leave today's training with, being absolutely clear on where does it actually fit inside your business model. And that is the one place where people get really, really stuck. Throughout the week, we're going to learn a whole bunch of other things as creating a Facebook ad that's going to bring the right people into your Facebook group. We're going to learn how to create the content. But today we're going to start with the basic idea and the framework of why you should build a Facebook group to graduate people to another part of your program versus live in, okay? That is the one mistake that a lot of marketers or experts or anyone who's building a Facebook group, they build a Facebook group for people to just live in. And that is certainly not what we want to do, right? That's why Facebook groups go dead, right? The engagement goes down. People just don't engage, and people are always complaining, "God, my Facebook group is just dead," right? Not mine. Like I always tell people, I was like, my Facebook group is bumping every single day. My notifications, like I literally had to take Facebook off my phone and actually set aside time to spend in the group every single day because my Facebook group is hopping. But it's because I built it in a way that is going to nurture and actually give value, not just putting out a whole bunch of content so that I can sell people on something else. That is the last thing that we want to do. I hear so many marketers say, well, you need to build a Facebook group so that you can congregate people to sell them stuff. That is not the idea. That is not my idea of a perfect Facebook group. And so I think about the way that I like to engage with other Facebook groups. And it's the groups that are very focused. And so that is the one thing that I want you guys to leave today, is a clear focus of where the Facebook group is going to be inside your value ladder and whether or not it's going to fall within your free program or if it's going to fall within a paid, okay? So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is going to be something where people are going to be like, oh, I already know what my value ladder is. But I will say this, most people who I hop onto a call with, they still haven't figured out what their value ladder looks like. Now, some people get freaked out when I start talking about value ladders, but this is crucial to knowing how to market your business. If you don't have the steps and the framework for your business figured out, you can't market your business. I don't know how many people I get on the phone and I'm like, clearly, if I look at Nancy right now, Nancy should be able to tell me the 5 steps or the 5 phases that she should be able to bring her people through in their business in order to take them from where they are now to that finish line, right? I'm looking at Helen as well. Like at the end of the day, Helen should know the phases that her customers have to go through. My own customers, right? The first phase, in order for them to be rock and roll stars at Facebook advertising, I can clearly define the phases. The first phase is awareness. They have to know that Facebook advertising is for them, right? In order to get you guys into this $7 group, I had to convince you that 1, Facebook ads are not expensive, right? I had to throw rocks at all of the myths that Facebook advertising can be expensive. And I also had to bring awareness that you guys can do your own Facebook advertising. If you don't have that belief that you could do your own Facebook advertising, there's no way I'm going to sell you into my $7 program. Even though it's only $7, I can't sell you into my $7 group if you don't have those 2 beliefs that you can do it yourself and that it's affordable for you, right? If you guys don't have those 2 beliefs, there's no way I'm selling you guys even just a $7 product. So step 2 in my process, phase 1 in my process is the awareness that 1, you could do Facebook ads, and 2, they're not expensive. So that's where all my free content lies, right? That's where all my free content lies. So that's why I'm doing $5 I'm showing you guys $5 strategies on my timeline. I'm showing you guys simple strategies. I'm giving you guys cheat sheets. I am changing your belief system that you can do Facebook advertising in order to bring you guys into my step 2, which is my $7 program, which is where my Facebook group fits into my value ladder, right? Once you have the belief that you can do Facebook advertising yourself and that you have a budget for it, I'm selling you into my $7 program where I'm teaching you the foundations, right? Because you can't create a successful Facebook ad campaign if you don't know how to create good content, right? What is Facebook advertising? Facebook advertising is just content with money on it. That's all they are. That's all it is. And so I have to teach you guys how to create good content and sell it to an audience, right? If you don't know how to create content for your audience, there's no way you're going to be able to create a Facebook ad. And so in phase 1, you're learning the organic marketing sprint, right? In phase 2 of my $7 program, what are you guys learning? You guys are learning right now how to congregate people and nurture them, right? We don't get to Facebook advertising until phase 3 of this $7 program. So my $7 program takes people from the foundations that they have to have organically and takes them through the journey of creating their very first Facebook ad. Okay, that's step 2, right? They have to understand the ads manager. They have to know how to at least create a basic Facebook ad before they're moving on to my premium program, which is, I'm looking at a couple of my students right here. Like they're learning a sophisticated ad strategy that's going to take their customers through the same journey, right? But if we don't know what this journey is, how can we create content that's going to move people forward? And that's the mistake that people make, is they don't have all of this stuff figured out, right? Then after my premium program, after I've showed my students how to create this sophisticated ad strategy, they have all the content created, they have everything, they've got a proven funnel, they're starting to get sales, then they're giving it to my agency, right? For $9.97 a month. You see how I just moved people through the journey in a very strategic way. Most people are trying to start here with the journey when really it's like we have to shift people into that. There's a lot of people that are absolutely ready for this, right? That's a whole other crowd. But we have to identify which phase in your business does your Facebook group belong. Is it in the awareness phase? Is it in your step 2? Hey, some people's Facebook group doesn't happen until like the 3rd or 4th step. I don't have a Facebook group outside of my $7 program. My premium members, we congregate on Zoom calls because that's where the breakthroughs happen. That's where you guys are going to have breakthroughs, is on these Zoom calls that we're having right now. Like right now, I can tell so many light bulbs are going off through this training, even though this training that I'm teaching you guys right now is in the back office, I can tell right now there's a whole bunch of light bulbs going off where people are like, oh, that's what she's talking about in the training. And so that's what I mean by creating a roadmap for your audience to go through. And so that's the first thing that you have to identify is where does your Facebook group fall, okay? And the very last thing is, should your group be a paid group or should it be a free group? That's going to depend on where the group is going to fall on your value ladder. My group, I don't have a free Facebook group. I only have a paid group. And so my group is going to fall underneath my $7 a month program. So let's open this up for discussion because we've got 20 minutes. I really want to make sure that all of these calls are going to be very beneficial. I want every single person leaving here with a clear direction of where their Facebook group falls on their value ladder and whether or not they're going to charge for their group. Nancy, I'm going to pick on Nancy for a little bit. Tell us, where does your Facebook group fall within your value ladder?
Well, I actually was thinking of it at one step up from where you are, because that is actually a group coaching program. And I'm not sure that's the right place for it, but my initial entree is might be a better place for it, come to think of it, because what we're going to be doing is actually creating an escape plan for people. And that's going to be a time when folks probably could use the most in nurturing. So that could be just a, hey, surprise, you also get this.
Yeah, that's an excellent way. Some people, like I said, I've got a lot of students that their group doesn't live until their group coaching program, because they're having a challenge, they're having all of these things top of funnel that they're having. I even have a student who's doing like kind of like a meeting on Zoom as the entry point in order for them to congregate people. And so she does weekly trainings with her people in order to move them up the value ladder. But it all depends on what your audience wants, what your audience needs, right? Like when my wife and I, whenever we started building our e-com store for women who like to bicycle, our Facebook group lived in the free because we wanted to congregate people who love to bicycle, and we shared articles and we shared all kinds of things, but we built a group of people who are, guess what, eventually going to want to buy what we had, right? You have a value ladder of things that, and this is, I love bringing up my wife and I's e-com store because I always get people, well, this won't work for e-com. I'm like, the framework is any business. It doesn't matter whether you are a doctor, chiropractor, e-com store owner, coach. I mean, yes, this group caters a lot to coaches and experts and stuff, but it's like the same framework lies within your value ladder. Every single business should have a value ladder and should have a way to position people in order to sell them more than one thing. I'm looking at Pamela. Hi, Pamela. Good morning. Where do you think your Facebook group fits inside your value ladder?
And you can call me Pam. I don't know why the Pamela's up there, but Pam, anyway, into the free. I've already started it. So.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about, so one of the things that we want to make sure is that we're able to graduate, and we're gonna learn on the third day how to create content that's gonna help you graduate people to your other phases. But tell us a little bit about your Facebook group right now.
It's small,
okay.
And I've been implementing your phase 1
awesome.
Visibility and your Mimi marketing, your Mimi method, I guess, to get out there and how it posts. And so that's where it is. I'm growing it.
So what should people, so after they are in your Facebook group, what is the one takeaway that people are going to be able to be like, wow, I learned that in Pam's Facebook group?
How to get visible there, well, to get their foundation built in their business and then to get visible.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good. So where do you ultimately want them to end up? Do you have like a high ticket, or is it group coaching, or?
My core program is group coaching.
Awesome. Steph, where does the Facebook group belong in your business model?
Girl, I have been trying to avoid Facebook groups forever. It's just not a part. It's like my personality type doesn't flow well for Facebook groups, but I'm thinking that's why I'm here. Is I'm thinking that I want to put it because I want to actually lead with high ticket.
Yep.
And then offer low ticket as a backup if it doesn't make sense, just because I've already been doing business that way.
Yep.
So if I do decide to use a Facebook group, I'm definitely going to put it as a part of an initial purchase and then just use it as a place for announcements for people to kind of feel more comfortable, and then use Zoom weekly, like Zoom sessions, to really connect and offer the additional training.
That's awesome. That was my very first Facebook group, belonged up here whenever I was offering. Now I've turned my high ticket into a monthly membership. But whenever I had my 45-day program as my high ticket program, that's the only Facebook group I had, because the common misconception is that people think that I advocate for people to start low ticket, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
I started high ticket and built everything lower. Like my $7 program was the very last thing I built. My $7 program would not be in existence if my agency didn't make, most of my money, because my high ticket has residual cash flow every single month. I'm able to spend so much time on my value ladder within my premium membership and my $7 membership, but that's not where most of my money is made. Most of my money is going to be made here. And so that's a myth that people think that I advocate people starting low ticket. I don't. So that was a really great opportunity for me to say that, because I think so many people have the misconception because of my $7 program that that's where I started. No, guys, I don't make my money from the $7 group. I know we almost have like 700 members, but still that's not where my cash flow happens. Let's see who else. If you're on camera, Anthony, where do you think your Facebook group is going to fall? And by the way, to Steph's point, I have one of my colleagues, he's pulled all of his stuff off of Facebook. He congregates people in a Thursday night boardroom, which is very similar to this Zoom room. And so that's where he does. Not every single business has to have a Facebook group either. It's okay to not have it. We just have to put some type of thing in place, like Steph was saying, where she's congregating people over a Zoom call. But Anthony, tell us a little bit about your business. Where do you think it fits in with what you're doing?
I'm a career coach, career satisfaction coach. And so to your point about like what you have to do first is to kind of install the beliefs that, hey, I can do this at all. And in the way I work, the first starting point is their resume, because most people are like, I can't write my resume. I hate talking about myself. So I think my Facebook group would land somewhere between the free and the like low ticket tier, and I'm not entirely sure which, and maybe you can help me with kind of sorting it out, because I need to first sort of like provide them with some of the like myth busting material first. Like, don't do all this stuff that everyone's talking about. Do these things that nobody's talking about. So sort of start installing in their mind that like, oh, actually resume writing can be fun and easy and empowering instead of a shitty, sucky experience. So that needs to happen. And also I do like a lot of great feedback, kind of like what you do on like, when you review ads and sort of audit them. And that can happen in a Facebook group as well. So I think based on that, just as I'm talking it out, I feel like the group itself belongs in the $7 arena, where I like once every now and then I might like, hey, send in your resume and, have a live chat, and I like pick one apart and critique it and improve it, and everyone can watch and learn. And the free content, I can do all the myth busting and belief installing and so on and so forth.
I would agree with you. Like, you could even make it into, like a challenge group, right? Where every 7 days you're bringing in new people so that you're graduating them to that next level in your business, and you're pre-qualifying them, right? By making it $7. So I think you're right. I think you're right on target with that. And by the end of that Facebook group, right, they have something accomplished. You've helped them do something. They're not just watching a whole bunch of random content that's not, organized and leading them into something, which is going to be an excellent question that Amanda just asked over the chat. She said, do you have any recommendations for turning a small free group into a paid group, or to inform those people that it will be closing, but there will be a group as part of the paid program? So this is what I've been doing for a lot of my students, and it's working really well. If you are going to transition your group into a paid group, leave all of the free people in, but let them know, hey, you guys got in when this was a free group, but make a training platform right outside of the Facebook group, whether it's Zoom calls or in like a training platform like what I have like for you guys, like the training portal outside. Just tell the people in the free group, look, you guys are welcome here. You guys came in when this was a free group, but now I'm starting to put some paid content together that this group is going to have a paid back office to it. Now, if you guys want access to that, I will gladly give you guys a special launch price for every single person in this group, but you guys are welcome to stay. But I just wanted to let you guys know that there is going to be a separate part of this group that you guys aren't going to get access to at the free level, but I'm happy to honor a launch special and transition some of those people. You're going to get some of those people to leave, but here's the deal too, is once you start bringing more paid members in, your group's not going to be dead, right? The people that are going to come in are going to be like, oh, wow, because one of the parts of people like in the whole process of buying, right, they get buyer's remorse. If I buy a program and then I walk into an empty Facebook group, I'm like, oh shit, where's everyone, And so keeping that group populated, it gives reassurance to people that, okay, there's other people that are here. There's a community. It's going to be rocking and rolling. So yeah, exactly. So still charge them for the back office, but let them in the group for free. Now, no, let's be clear on this. Every person that you're going to bring in from here on after, they're going to have to pay for the group. But the group is free for people who were already in your group. Yes, you should cut off any more people for joining for free, because that's what we're trying to do. We're transitioning the group. But what you're going to do is you're going to give the people who have been your OGs in your group, you're going to give them a choice, whether or not at a special price. Hey, do you guys want to transition? There's going to be, I'm building this entire thing. Most people, if you've done a good job of nurturing those people, you should at this point have no problems transitioning them into the paid content, if you've been nurturing them and doing the job. And you could also notify them, hey, like in the training portal, there's going to be this, and this. And so what I would recommend is have a 90-day plan to create content. And we're going to talk about this on day 3 on Wednesday, creating content that's going to transition people into different phases of your business. And so that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to put a cap on, like, nope, no one else comes in for free. This is now a paid group, but the people who have been there are going to be free. So that was an excellent question. So does anyone have any questions? We've got a couple of minutes.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
What do you do when you're starting from scratch? Like, I don't have a Facebook.
Yeah, that's fine. It's okay, because whenever I first started my $7 group, I didn't have anyone in this group either. I did it as a Black Friday launch. I wasn't sure that it was going to turn into this. I was like, oh, it's just going to be like a $7 fun thing. This group was originally just a whole bunch of my lives that I had downloaded, and I organized all my cheat sheets, and I organized the content into like very organized trainings. And then it just turned into, okay, now what do I do? Like, I'm going to use this group to transition people, because one of the things I started to notice was that I had a 57% conversion rate between my group and my high ticket program. So I was like, oh, I need to really optimize, right? And that was something that you guys are going to hear me say that a lot. I needed to optimize the content to shift people out of the group and into the next thing. Most of us don't need more leads. We just need a good content strategy to shift people to that next level. Yep. And so does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Don't worry about it. If it is a brand new thing, it's something that you're launching, that's perfectly okay too.
I have a question, Laurel.
Absolutely. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So my question is, how are you directing traffic to that group? So I have a free 4-week web series teaching folks online, basically what you're mentioning, repurposing previous business building content and then want to direct them to the group. So are you finding that you need to kind of keep going back to your email list or reach out to them kind of individually? How are you really directing that traffic to the group?
So I will say this, I didn't have an email list when I started this group. This group is my email list. I don't have a list of people who haven't ever paid me a dime. So that's the way that I do it. Now, email lists, very, very valuable stuff. And we're gonna learn how to shift people into the Facebook group. So answer this, where does the Facebook group fit into your value ladder, Jasmine?
Very good question. Right now, I think it is going to be free.
Okay.
Because when I launched last time, exactly what you said, it's like an empty party. Nobody wants to walk into an empty party.
Yeah.
I had an 84% conversion rate the last time I ran this. So it was super huge. Obviously, people love free. But, you know, if I'm having 200 people sign up for a free class, I don't know if it's the best thing to have a free Facebook group and kind of put it as a challenge to move the people out after the 4 weeks, or do what you said and kind of keep it as like a $7 or a $10.
So a lot, and we'll talk more about this on Wednesday, but the way that we set these Facebook groups up, we want to set them up to where it's almost like a coaching program in itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to have extra materials that are outside of the Facebook group. You want to get people to actually take action. Like I had like the checklist for you guys. And so that's going to help you transition those people out of that group and into the next thing, because a lot of times groups go dead because there's just the members aren't sure what's next.
Uh-huh.
And so that way, when we're creating the content for your group, we need to make sure that all of the content is optimized in order to shift them so that the next step is blatantly clear. Like it's crystal clear what they need to do.
That's super awesome. So it's kind of sounding like, at least in the beginning, it needs to fit in the free value ladder, and then all of my content that I've created, put it in an offsite platform and graduate them that way.
Yep, exactly. Awesome. Exactly. Like we want to treat our Facebook group, whether it's free or paid, as its own course.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way that we're going to get people to participate. That's the only way we're going to give people to actually get a win with it. And so having like the training materials that's going to help people, and Facebook groups, people sometimes overly complicate them. Like mine is kind of complicated because I'm teaching people, but like my 7-day organic sprint, that in itself could be a Facebook group. Like, and the way that we want to make sure that we're creating Facebook groups that have a clear definition of who it's for and the end result that they can get. Like, that's why it's super important to name our Facebook groups too. Like a lot of people like name it as if it were its own course.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Thanks for this training. I'm starting a business on weight loss. From this training, I think I would like to create a group. I think of making it free for a start, then turn it into a paid group afterwards. I would have to see what your entire, if you can turn your volume up, I would love to know more about your program before I answer that question. If you can. I know some people are just listening right now.
Okay. So I just started the program, like creating value. I prepared the 30-day meal plan. So I saw that lots of people are interested, and I'm thinking of like turning it into a business. So either creating a group. So from this training, I think I got that value. So what do you think I should do next?
So you think that your group is going to fall within the free realm?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the next step in the value ladder? What are you going to transition them to next?
So I think of a 4-week challenge where they would follow a meal strictly.
Yep. I love this. How much are you going to charge for that?
So it's going to be like $10.
For 4 weeks?
Yes.
Wow, that's super cheap for a 4-week program.
Yeah, so because my target audience are not in America, they are in Nigeria.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, that's why, because speaking with some of them now, as I'm doing a Facebook Live, a challenge, a 14-day Facebook Live, and speaking with them, I noticed like their income, their money. So I'm thinking of probably doing something within their income.
Okay. I mean, I think that sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Yep. Erica says, I wonder if it's worth letting the free traffic continue and upsell, because let's see, she says her group is free and paid. Most of the paid members are coming from the free group. Absolutely. Some people might have two groups. If you want to have a free group and upsell them to the paid group, hey, whatever working is something that you need to do. Like what's going to work for me is going to be different than what's going to work for Pam, right? Whatever's going to work for Steph is going to be different than what's going to work for Nancy. And so we just have to decide, like, whatever's working, whatever's converting, keep doing that, right? Like my mentor, like whenever we went, when I went in October, my plan was to grow this up here. And my mentor's like, he's the one that like made me do my numbers. He's like, why are you focused on growing here? He's like, this is already converting at 57%. Stop getting people here. This is shooting people up here. Concentrate on growing that. And so we have to recognize and like what is converting our people to that next level. And concentrate on that. So whether that's a free group or whether that's a paid group. Yep, exactly. We want to just make sure that if we have, like we already have a group that's free and we want to transition them, try to transition as many of that free group into that paid group as possible. Like I said, you can have a free and paid group, like live in the same group where the paid members are getting better access, right? My premium members are living within the $7 program group. There's no special group for my premium members, but my premium members get me twice a week, actually 3 times a week right now. Plus they have me on the bat phone if they need me. That's the extra attention that I'm giving them. But all of my members are living within the $7 group too. So like in Erica's question, she could literally have her free and paid, groups like living in harmony, where her paid members are just getting, more options inside the group. Does that make sense? Yep. So just so you guys know, as I'm wrapping this up, this is going to go into the phase 2 content of the $7 program, where we're going to nurture an audience. And so this 5-day challenge is going to live there. So all of the replays and everything, all of the, the stuff, if I give you guys materials, checklists or whatever, it's all going to be in the phase 2 section so that you guys will be able to catch the replay. Now, before I go off, do me one favor, go post your biggest takeaway as its own post inside the $7 group. Okay. Do me a favor. What was your biggest takeaway from today's training? Because we want the other people to see, we want to give them a little FOMO, right? You guys have your group figured out where it lies in your value ladder. You should, leaving this call. That's the main part, because we can't do any of the work that's going to build a profitable group the rest of the week until you know exactly where your group lives in your whole value ladder and whether it's going to be a free or a paid group. So that's an easy assignment for today. Well, for some of us, it sounds easy, but it's a little complicated to try to figure that out. But today, that's the one thing that I want you guys to have in mind, because tomorrow we're actually going to start with the framework to actually start building this profitable group out. Okay. So again, the replay for this is going to be, it's going to be uploaded as soon as Zoom gives me the option to download it. It's going to go inside phase 2, and it's going to be its own 5-day challenge for building a profitable Facebook group. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Do me that favor though, go and post your biggest takeaway from today's training inside the $7 group. Okay. Need as many eyes on this training as possible. If you guys got value, let them know. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye guys.